Hey friends, it's time for another episode of Nutrition Talks with Jackie. This is week 3 of our discussion about proteins. In week 1, we covered why protein is important, and last week we covered what protein is made of and how our bodies use it. This week we're going to look at the various sources of protein, and then in weeks 4 and 5 we'll talk about proteins and weight loss, which is why you're really here, I know it, and proteins and muscle gain. All right, the main ideas from weeks 1 and 2 are this. Proteins are so very important because they are the building block for every single cell in our bodies, every cell. When we consume proteins, our bodies break them apart into peptides, which are then broken apart into little bitty pieces called amino acids. And a protein source is a complete protein if it contains all 9 of the essential amino acids. And that means the amino acids that we can only get from the foods we eat. All right, knowing all of that, let's launch into today's topic. Where do I get this protein? We typically categorize foods as either fats, carbohydrates, or proteins. But let's take a look at this chart. Do you see how various foods fall into more than one category? For example, pastries and muffins are both carbohydrates and fats. Beans, legumes, quinoa are both carbohydrates and protein. Beef and pork are both protein and fat. Nuts are all 3, carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. But we typically categorize foods as one thing or another. Which foods are complete proteins, and do incomplete proteins really count? All animal products are complete proteins. They contain all 9 essential amino acids: beef, pork, fish, deer, chicken. Animal products like eggs and dairy, so cheese would also fall into the category of a protein. There are plant sources of proteins, as you can see from the chart. Beans, legumes, quinoa, nuts, soy are all very good sources of plant protein, but only one of them, soy, is a complete protein. Quinoa comes close. You can get all of the essential amino acids from plant sources by combining foods. For example, beans and rice together make a complete protein. All right, that's it for this week. Next week, we're going to look at the various sources of protein and what we recommend for weight loss and why. Until then, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. And let's stay fit for life.